Okay, Michael, so we're just about ready to package this up and crate it off to you. So just going to go through what you need to do your end. Okay, so the best way to go about it is, this will all drop in, is I would completely gut your whole machine out and start from scratch. Underneath we've got this board that it's all wired to. It's actually got little feet underneath it, so because there's all this ventilation as well, what I would probably do is drill a couple of holes to let that ventilation go through to your cabinet. The fan here that's fixed in place, I would drill a hole for that one directly under it, so line that up, measure it out. We have another hole in around here. I'd drill a second hole like you would have seen in one of my recent videos of revamping a machine. You can put your power supply with the fan upside down on there. We've just got a PC here just to check everything, the solenoids etc are working. That's actually your graphics card, so we'll put that back in its box. But yeah, what you could do is the same thing with your subwoofer you've already got, kind of put it there, maybe make a shelf, put this up the top so you can sort of do good cable management on your end at the other end. But we've made it pretty simple to do. So on your end, what you need to do is, you've already got your start button, this one, where you want to put your up and down volume, drill two 28mm holes. Your flipper button here, you probably need to make the hole a little bit bigger to go into your rails. The button will be connected to it, so you can lift it up and down on just the flipper button. You need to drill a 28mm hole for your magnet button there, sort of just to what you want outside the rail. So you can kind of put your rail in place and work out where you want it. So for your left magnet. Then you do exactly the same on the right hand side. Once you put your rail in place, mark it exactly the same. And I just put the other one directly underneath. I think it's around about 45mm center to the mute, half mute button there. Okay, so that's kind of what you need to do for all your holes there. In the back of the machine, in the previous video, you've probably seen how I drilled two 90mm holes for the fans. You can put them where you want as well. Probably up above and around about the same spot will be a good place for it. And as for all the rest of it, what we're going to do is we're going to drop everything down. As you'll see, there's no clips or anything, so we'll give you some clips and you can do your cable management. And you can put them all back in place. So what we do is, you start at the front here, your first solenoid, you see it's numbered 1, number 2, so that's your slingshots. Just put it just outside the door line there. Have a look at that. So they'll just go back straight up into place. Obviously you'll be able to put some clips in, do cable management a little bit better. Number 3, just outside your button line, like so. Number 4. Okay, so we'll just take the screws out of this. This will drop down, you'll be able to bring it back up. You want to put it about the middle of the machine and about halfway up your cabinet there. Have a look at that. And make sure that gives you plenty of room for your TV to go in over the top. So that will just go straight back up, screw it in. This will all be going as it is, all screwed in place. And your number 8 solenoid, through the length here, you'll be able to cable it in and just put it up towards the back corner there. So yeah, it should be all pretty straightforward. Just sort of drop all that back in place, put all the solenoids in place. Your fans here too, as you'll see, they're all hooked up. These are your 2 fans for the back. They plug into this box, which is controlled. You can do the different colors with the remote there. All it is simply one plug here that plugs into your power supply to keep those, to turn those fans on. So that's pretty straightforward. And underneath this, we'll take the 2 screws out. You put this just underneath your coin door, which have your control for your shaker motor. The switch here will switch off your 12-volt power supply there, will shut off all your solenoids, etc. Your beacons up top, if you want to switch that off. Your tactile feedback system you've already got, where you'll have the 2, you put your amplifier, screw it into here. It'll be up to you how exactly you want to do your cable management on that one. The plunger here, we will just be taking out the rod. We'll be giving you this whole inside piece that you'll be able to screw back in place and put your existing rod into it as well. And make sure you've got it nice and smooth as it's running through. Well, just kind of maybe a couple of screws and a little wedge to make it sit nice, and when you're sort of putting that in place, you'll get the feel for it. Buttons, we've actually labelled them. If you ever look at this, it says right flipper. You have another one here, Magna. Down here, it's mute. This one here, launch button. If we just actually pull the launch button out, all you'll see is it's got launch written on it. And when you want to get the bulb going, it's negative and positive. You can just actually pull this bulb out, flick it around, put it in the other way to get it going. So we'll keep that wired up as it is. Okay, so same over this side, you'll see that it's labelled left flipper. This one's Magna. Yeah, volume up and down, you'll have a look at that, it says volume. It's volume up, and the second one here is the volume down. And that was your start button. If you have a look at these ones as well, these two are joined together. One's the exit. The exit goes onto your coin, and your coin door there, and your coin one as well. So you've got the two going back onto the coin door for exit and your credits. This one here comes up through the punch it plate, and as you'll see, it's got enter written on it there. The two red ones, they are negative positive for your light, so it'll either be one way or the other. And when you actually hook up a gold leaf button, it doesn't matter what the two prongs are that you go on to give you your key input. And in fact, can you get me a button please, Caleb? Just quickly show you how that works. You've got 4 prongs. Okay, so what you've got is you've got 4 prongs here, and you see there's a grey box there. Okay, so the one that's in the grey box, these 2 prongs, that's your key input. Now you see the 2 prongs that are outside the grey box, that's your negative and positive for your lights to get them going. And you actually see it, if you leave a look at that, zoom in, you've got positive there on the left and negative on the right. So the ones outside the grey box are your lights to light them up, and that's your key input. Like I say, your key input doesn't matter what one you put it on, you can put it on either and it will work, but you've got to have your negative, positive for the lights. That you'll see, because I'll have them plugged in anyway, so you'll see how they go. So that's about it for all that. It's pretty self-explanatory, most of that. When you put your PC back in, like I say, that's your graphics card. There's a pinchgate board underneath here with a USB cable. You have to plug the USB back in. So underneath there, that's where all your wires and all your buttons go for your pinchgate board. That controls your analog plunger as well. It's all glued safely in place, but this covers over all the wires so you don't see them. It's much nicer cable management as well. And your back box, you have a look at your back box here. So I've just got a screen in here for now because I'm going to show you how to test your solenoids and everything when you put it all together. But that screen will be coming out, and if you have a look in behind, okay, so your LG monitor that you'll get, you put in behind here, you've got a board here that holds it in place, and you just push it in even gaps around there, and that holds it in. It'll come with the bottom one in place with the screen in place already, the HP one. You'll have your speakers in place here, and what we've done here is we've just wired them up so you can join off them. We normally split them into the other speakers that you got. In fact, if you have a look at this, the speakers you've got there, you'd cut it and split into that, and we would move them down onto the bottom shelf here on your machine. So you'll be able to split and wire into that. And that's pretty much it as far as that goes. Obviously plug your HDMI cables, everything, and go through the hole. you'll be able to put your back on, which screws in around it. Just on the hinge part that comes under here on your machine, what we had to do over on this one is we needed to get it lift up a bit so it would go over your rail, so you could slide the glass up. So what we did, if you have a look at that, all we did was put some washers under there just to be able to lift it up that bit more, so that the whole back box lifted up, so that it will actually, when you pull it down, it will go over your rail. Because previously this was hard down and the glass sat into a groove. Now, we're going to send you 2 lots of that Velcro, so you put that on top. You'll be able to run your glass straight up over top, be able to slide your glass in and out without having to take your rails off. But it's very important that you put some washers under there to get it up about 7 mil for that to work. And I think that's about it. If you've got any other questions on how all that works, don't hesitate to contact us, but I'll just pass the camera over. Just want to show you, once you've got everything in place and you've got your computer up and running, you kind of just unplug the bottom screen, so you've just got the one screen, so you can do this. But we need to go and test that everything in place correctly. Now, the easiest way to do that is, I'll start from the start. Come down here, bring up your folder, go to Documents, this one here. Now what you're looking for is this one here, USB HCH 12 volt. Double click, USB Relay Manager, and we're going to be double clicking on this one. And to do that, what we want to do is just have this one in first on the right. Pull this one out. So pull that out so it's not connected. Okay, so go back up. Double click on this one here, application. We'll bring up this box, open relay board. See how it's board found. So what we're doing is the first box here on the right hand side. And we go back up to the top, manual mode. Okay, so this is all your relay switches. So if you have a look, you've got 8 of them. You've got 8 switches on here. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're only using the first 3. So if you want to go up to relay 1 to test it, click that. Now if you have a look up top, we've actually connected both to relay 1, make it easier for you. And this one here, relay 3, if I click that, that's your shake mode. See that? So I click it, shake mode will be going, and you can test your volume up and down, like thing. You see how that's shook around because it's not screwed in place. I have it on about half. That's another point too, when you get this in place, make sure you put 4 screws in it so it doesn't go all over the place, that board. Okay, so that's how you test out the first relay board and make sure everything's working. Actually, I need to go back on that just quickly. I want to turn that off. Okay, once that's turned off, close it down. Okay, so what we want to do now is pull out the USB there, the cord, plug in the second one. Now this is the 8 times solenoids is all plugged into this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we want to make sure that they're all going again once you've all rewired it up. So you double click, open relay board, board found, manual mode, and you just click on each one. That's number 1, your flipper, your second flipper. This is your slingshots 3 and 4. So if we just go and have a look, you see they're labelled as well. So that's number 3. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's 5, 6, 7, and 8. So you just go for each one, and we go back up to the top here. Just click on it a couple of times to make sure it's going. That's the first 4. Number 5, number 6, number 7. And this one, number 8, is the one in the very back corner. So once you've checked all them and they're all working, you're all good to go. And that's it. So once you've got that all going, you can put your screens back in, plug in your bottom screen and your front screen, and we've got another video on this YouTube channel, my personal YouTube channel, that will explain how to get the drive going, get it all up and running, and In fact, the drive, probably can't see it, but the drive's just sitting down in there for now. So we'll be posting that out. We'll put it in the box with the graphics card for you, the 1 terabyte drive. Yeah, so like I say, you've got any questions, don't hesitate to ask once you get the machine, if you're a bit confused on any of it, and we'll be glad to answer any of your questions, and look forward to seeing how your revamp goes on your machine over in USA. Okay, sorry Michael, I almost forgot the back box here as well. Okay, so we've taken the screen back out, so when you put your LG monitor in, you put this board back over the top. Now, what you need to do is to get it in, you've got to sort of take this out, sort of angle it in under these wires, push this side in, sort of, it'll be quite tight on T-mold, get it into place. We've taken the batten off, so we'll have a batten here that you can screw put back on, otherwise it'll be in the way. And you also got your wire from your beacon here. And all you need to do is once you get the screen back in place and get that all screwed up, just hook that back up to the red and black. You'll see there's a screw hole there at the top there. Put that back in place. And another thing to mention too is we're just about to disconnect your beacons, the red and black wire here, which is going into this one. So we're just about to undo that. So you need to bring that wire back through and connect it there, which is connecting both your beacons coming down. Yeah, so that's all. Like I say, if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to ask.